Hello, my name is Luke Nimitz. I served as the composer for Spearhead 1944 Extended, the Commonwealth. I wanted to talk about the three pieces that served as the foundation for the score, as well as highlight some points of interest that you might think are cool. The three pieces that the score relies on are Edward Elgar's Nimrod from his Enigma Variations, Gustav Holst's Jupiter, and a chorale from that piece from the larger collection of pieces called The Planets, and a bugle call called The Last Post. The Last Post is analogous to America's Taps. There's such like a sacredness to it for me, so when The Last Post came up in research, I knew I wanted to use it, but I didn't want to use it directly, and so I altered it a bit in the way that I flipped the intervals but kept the rhythm so as to remind the listener of what it is. The crux of the score really relies on Edward Elgar's Nimrod from his Enigma Variations. It's a beautiful piece of music that I've known for many years, and to have the opportunity to use it in the context of this game was really an honor and a pleasure. Gustav Holst, The Planets, is another one that, or rather, another collection of pieces that I gleaned from, specifically Jupiter. And there's since the writing of that piece, the British have attached some lyrics to the melody, and it's called I Vow to Thee, My Country. I'm going to play a portion of that tune here, just so, just because it's so beautiful, and any chance I get to share the original compositions, I'm going to take it. So here is that. So those are the pieces that the score's foundation is on. And I'm now just going to talk through some points of interest that might be cool to you. The opening of the first track was the last thing that I wrote for this score. There was initially just a soft opening that gradually grows until you get to the climax. But it just wasn't right. So I was finishing up the mixes for the streaming release and figuring out ways to make it more, or make it better. And so what ended up being landed on was all three primary ideas in this score, set those on top of each other, and they sound here. And I think it works out really well. I want to take this time too to just say thank you to Jaki, who is the music editor for this score. When I write music, most of the times, I have trouble titling things. So I just had the word sweet and the 5 other tracks that are in this score, and would send them back and forth for notes and asked him for help titling. And he really nailed it with all the titles. I think they're really appropriate and emotionally compelling. So I just want to thank him in this video here just for helping me out with that, because it was so important. The third track was the second thing that I wrote for the Commonwealth, and going back and forth with the editor, I was sent Dunkirk, a piece from Dunkirk that's Christopher Nolan's film, and there's a piece called The Oil. The film is fantastic, wonderful film, The music is from Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfisch. The oil specifically is one of those really great studies on suspense or tension. So I was able to use some elements from that piece and do my own spin on it. And you'll hear the ticking clock, which is, I think Zimmer and Wallfisch use it so cool in the movie because it's not just a static time. They mess with the rate of clicks, and so it really heightens, in the film, it really heightens the actions that are happening on screen. In the track also you'll hear the last post and then Nimrod, or our main theme for this score, as a resolution to all of the tension that I built earlier. The fifth piece of the collection is the filmic piece. So when I sat down to start the music, I put like a broad outline out of what I needed, or rather not what I needed, but what I wanted to write. And I wanted a piece with a more traditional film-like feel. So I got to use a larger ensemble for this, an orchestra, and played some brass and woodwinds to include it as well. This is the first bit of the score where I Vow to Thee My Country is heard. It is also where I got to play with the main theme, Nimrod rather, from Elgar, and you'll hear that a couple times too. In the latter half especially, I was able to stretch it out more, and so you'll hear a solo clarinet play the melody while underneath there's some propelling harmonies that I think are cool. It was an honor to be asked to contribute to the Commonwealth, the Spearhead 1944 extended content update. I really enjoyed the months that I was able to work on it. There's so many more beautiful pieces of music that come from the British tradition, and to be able to use a few of them was really a pleasure. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you are able to enjoy the music inside and outside of the game, and appreciate your time. Thanks again to everybody at Heavy Ordnance Works, and I'll catch you guys next time.